Today's documentary, The Vanished Mystery of Flying Tiger Line Flight 739. The radio operator at Clark Air Base in the Philippines strained his ears against the static. It was past midnight on March 16, 1962, and the expected voice of Flying Tiger Line Flight 739 was nowhere to be heard. The Lockheed Super Constellation, with 107 American soldiers and crew aboard, was now 1 hour overdue. Not a single distress call, not a flicker on radar, just a profound, unsettling silence. In that moment, a chilling realization swept through the control room. A massive four-engine aircraft, a vessel of lives, had been erased from the sky as if by some invisible hand. The vast, black expanse of the Western Pacific had swallowed it whole, initiating one of aviation's most enduring and baffling mysteries. This was no ordinary commercial flight. It was a clandestine military charter, a cog in the grinding machinery of the Cold War. The year was 1962, and the United States was deepening its involvement in Southeast Asia. Flying Tiger Line, a legendary cargo carrier born from the famed World War II volunteer squadron, was now under contract with the Military Air Transport Service. Flight 739 had originated days earlier at Travis Air Force Base in California, bound ultimately for Saigon, South Vietnam. Its passenger manifest was a secret, a roster of 93 U.S. Army electronics and communication specialists, 11 civilian crew members, and 3 South Vietnamese soldiers. They were young men, many in their late teens and early 20s, headed into a simmering conflict. The aircraft was a Lockheed L-1049H Super Constellation, registration N6921C, a majestic but aging propliner known for its distinctive triple tail and graceful curves. Piloted by veteran Captain John R. Murray and First Officer Donald R. Sharp, it was a workhorse on a routine run. After a refueling stop at Honolulu, it landed at Andersen Air Force Base in Guam on the morning of March 15th. The crew rested. The soldiers stretched their legs on the tropical tarmac, unaware they were hours from becoming phantoms. The takeoff from Guam at 12:57 p.m. local time on March 16th was uneventful. The weather was fair, the skies mostly clear. The Super Constellation, heavy with fuel for the 1,500-mile overnight hop to Clark Air Base in the Philippines, climbed into the afternoon sun. Its planned flight time was 7.5 hours. The last routine radio contact came just over an hour into the flight. At 2 p.m., the crew reported their position, 500 miles east of Guam, cruising at 18,000 feet. All was normal. Then, nothing. No further messages. No mayday. No squawk of the emergency transponder. As the hours ticked by at Clark, anxiety curdled into dread. At 8 p.m., when Flight 739 failed to appear on schedule, the airbase declared an emergency. The first whispers of catastrophe began to circulate. How could a state-of-the-art aircraft, equipped with multiple radios and life rafts, simply cease to exist? The Pacific Ocean, deep and merciless, offered no clues. The response was immediate and massive. The U.S. Navy, Air Force, and Coast Guard launched one of the largest peacetime search and rescue operations in history, codenamed Operation Star. It involved dozens of aircraft, Neptunes, Super Constellations, helicopters, and surface vessels like the USS Cobbler and USS Basel. They scoured a staggering 144,000 square miles of ocean, an area larger than Germany. For 8 grueling days, pilots flew grid patterns, eyes straining for any sign, an oil slick, a life raft, a piece of floating debris. Sailors scanned the waves, hoping for a glimpse of orange life vests. They found nothing. Not a seat cushion, not a luggage tag, not a single body. The sea gave up no secrets. For the families back home, the void of information was a torture. Telegrams arrived with the grim headline, "Missing." Parents, wives, and siblings were plunged into a limbo of agonized hope. Eleanor Murray, wife of Captain John Murray, would later say, "You keep thinking they'll find something, anything, that the phone will ring with news." But the silence was the worst part. The complete silence. As the search wound down with 0 results, investigators from the Civil Aeronautics Board faced a puzzle with no pieces. Without wreckage, the cause of the disaster was pure speculation. The first theory pointed to the aircraft itself. The Lockheed 1049 Super Constellation, while iconic, had a known vulnerability: its wing fuel tanks. There had been previous incidents of in-flight explosions. Could a catastrophic structural failure have torn the plane apart in milliseconds, leaving no time for a distress call? Then, a shocking revelation added a darker dimension. This was the Cold War, and Flight 739 was carrying American troops to Vietnam. Was it a target? Pilots searching the area reported seeing a bright light or streak in the sky around the time of the disappearance. Some whispered about possible sabotage, a bomb planted on board by communist sympathizers. Others speculated about hostile action, an attack by a rogue aircraft. Amidst the theories, the human toll was immense. The Army notified next of kin, but without remains, there were no funerals, no graves to visit. For families like that of Private First Class James R. Johnson, a 19-year-old from Ohio, the lack of closure was a wound that never healed. The legacy of Flight 739 is a tapestry of sorrow and unresolved questions. The Pacific keeps its secrets. The ghost flight remains a stark reminder of the ocean's vast indifference and the fragile thread of certainty upon which every journey hangs. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary, please subscribe to our channel. We bring you fascinating documentaries on history, science, civilizations, mysteries, and the untold stories that shaped our world. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you never miss a new release. See you in the next one.